former Deputy Minister of Finance. Doc, thank you very much, and good evening for your good evening, and thank you very much for your time. The Bank of Ghana governor believes that the recent appreciation of the cedi we are seeing, it's as a result of prudent monetary policy, improved market segmentation, as well as external sector gain. You believe that is why we are seeing the recent trend we are seeing as far as the cedi appreciation is concerned?
Hello, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
I didn't hear you too well, but I have an idea where you were directing your questions to or from. But I don't know, did you say that I'm a member of parliament for Manshia?
No, I said member of parliament for the Inshiaiso constituency.
Yes, okay, thank you very much.
I said Inshiaiso.
My regards to our listeners this very moment. I thought we could really even have a very long period to discuss this issue so that we once and for all draw curtains on all these hullabaloo or the controversy that is giving rise to. Honestly speaking, if it's a political statement, just like the NDC guys want to take credit, they will take. And of course, politically they are in power. Except that if that is also the case, then they should also take whatever credit they have to take when it comes to the energy sector crisis we are having now. When it comes to the doom, so they say, oh, we just came to power. When it's exchange rate, they say no. They have been able to put measures in place. Honestly speaking, that is not true. That is never ever true. In the first place, we need to understand the fact that cocoa prices, gold prices are all going up very, very high on the international market now. That is one. Two, it was the NPP government that for the first time, to the best of my memory, when we had to do cocoa syndication, we domesticated that policy to the extent that hundreds of millions of dollars that were supposed to be paid to foreign bodies were directed to Ghana. I mean, were directed here to the banks in Ghana. I mean, to Bank of Ghana. This is a fact. So we are talking about accumulation of dollar in our system. One of the major reasons is that we are having cocoa prices, gold prices, and talking about even cocoa being kept in Ghana here, being reserved here. It was a policy that we rather even started. If we want to do policy, but I don't want to go in there. Now you talk about other factors of exchange rate or forex exchange rate. You deal with primary balance, you deal with trade balance, you deal with how your economy is being stabilized, how the economy is growing to put confidence. I mean, in the minds of investors, both foreign and even in Ghana here. Last quarter 2024, our GDP had grown to about almost 6%. In fact, I think 5.6. Even higher than we inherited in 2016. Our primary balance, all of them, actually I'm driving now, so I don't even have the figures. I don't want to quote anything that they will change the story later on. But almost all the primary macro indicators, most of them, with the exception of inflation, that we have even moved all the way from 54.1 to even 20. And probably even talk about the exchange rate. We have done far better than even 2016 that we took over. So the fact is that the economy has started doing so much well in this country. I mean from September to December 2024 that we went on the polls and then the new government took over. So look, we are talking about they are actually being physically disciplined. If we have not been physically disciplined throughout 2023 through 2024, how were we able to get both staff and board level approvals coming from the IMF and the other world bodies for us to get all those, credits and the monies that we got into this country? Because we have been very disciplined. And secondly, any new government in anywhere in the world and in Ghana here, within 6 months, you cannot even sit down and say you are not spending. You are not spending because you are not putting your government structure in place. Even some of the boards, they have not finished forming them. Gold board, I just saw it, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago in the newspapers. So even if they are saying that they are being disciplined, it's not a matter of discretionary policy or decision. It's a matter of they are forming their government. So it looks as if everything we are enjoying now basically comes from the proceeds from last quarter, and now we are still enjoying this goodwill. So they should accept that. In any case, are we saying that what we are also seeing today is stable, is something that is giving us the needed resilience and stability, and that dollar is not going to put up this sinusoidal performance again? No. We have not still put in place that comprehensive long-term strategy that we need or technique, because all over the world these are all short-term policies and they are not sustainable.
So you believe
that is not what I wish anyway. That is not my wish. What I'm saying is that I think if they say they are putting measures in place, to me it's too early and it's not really appropriate. They should be able to provide Ghanaians with what they inherited. If you are talking about monetary policy, tell me anything that they've done different from the monetary policy that was being put in place. This will be the circulation of money on our market at that time, and even the inflationary targeted policies that made the Bank of Ghana to increase even its policy rate and stuff like that. I think we need to be fair with ourselves. Let's stop these politics of NDC and PP and make sure that as a country, what are the causes of this whole sporadic and unstable dollar Cedi issue and relationship and put in place. Look, as I'm talking to you now, black market is still prevailing. And we have official rates and market rates. And normally we have very large variance between the two. And it raises even concerns among the external relevant stakeholders such as IMF and even World Bank. It creates a lot of problems for all of us. We've been holding meetings with them. Ask the Bank of Ghana people what I'm saying is not true.
So you believe
the NDC guys are making dollar to within about 5 months. What policy could they have put in place for this thing to happen?
Stephen Amoah, so you believe that it's too early for the NDC and this government to jubilate over this dollar issue?
You're talking about exchange rate. But then it's not an event, it's a process. You cannot say that within these 3 months you have taken this measure. Of course, politically they can take credit. That one, yes. But it's something that they know they came and met the goodwill that we have left for them. And of course, it's demand and supply. And it's like you're fighting with somebody. What is the situation when it comes to world trade war that we are also talking about? And some people are saying that it doesn't impact Ghana. I mean, that is juvenile discussion. Because if the dollar is also not attractive elsewhere, it also happens. What is the situation like with pounds and other things? I mean, what they are talking about, no, that is not properly, placed for Ghanaians to believe in. They can say these things to those who do not understand the mechanization, the processes of all these dollar exchange rate issues. They should state clearly all the independent variables. And then let us know how are they performing before NPP government handed power to them. Then what have they added?
Hello, Stega, let me come in here. But there are others who also say that we've seen inflation dropping. As at 2024, it was 23%. Now, as at April, it was 21.2%. The president is also heard saying that they are dealing with deficit, which is dropping from 7.5% of GDP. That was in 2024 to 6.4% as at the first quarter of 2025. So at least there's a marginal improvement. And so the projection is that if it continues this way, the sustainability of what we are seeing with the Cedi will be maintained.
Riafe, let me ask you this. All these primary indicators were really doing well and coming down. Those that we needed them to come down were coming down even faster than they are talking about. Because of the world crisis, because of the impaired productivity, we went as high as 64.1%. And it came down to 23%. And these indicators, they are not events, they are processes. You can just wake up and say, I've done this, or they are down. So if somebody has a terminal disease, I mean, people should forgive me. If somebody has a terminal disease, and through somebody's proper medical care and the grace of God, the person has started doing so much well that he couldn't eat for months. He started eating. His hands became pale. It's resolved. His blood was low. It's resolved, and everything is coming on. Then you come and the person, if he started eating, he was eating for months, and he started eating every week. And you come and he's eating every 5 days. You say you have done well. No. They can say that, okay, they've been able to sustain what they came to meet. In any case, if we hadn't been physically disciplined, how could we have gotten the approval? Let's be honest. What did they do to even get a third approval? They hadn't done anything, because it was just, I think, in February. They have not even formed their government. And even as I'm talking to you now, they have not completed forming the entire government when it comes to even boards and other things. They are still making a lot of changes. So what I'm saying is that they cannot take glory for something they've not done, something they've done virtually nothing about. Nothing. The IMF has set conditionalities and the way we should spend. And we had, indicative targets that we are supposed to meet as a country. And NPP government had met most of them. And that ends us all the three approvals that we had. You are in this country. Look, our debt to GDP went as high as about 80%. By the time we're handing over, my own brother, Dr. Atoforsen, I'm a very brilliant brother, my greetings to him, came to the Parliament House, presented a budget. In the same budget, go and look at what they stated about what we left for them. And the GDP had come below 70, was about 60-something%.
Okay.
60-something%. In fact, NDC's own budget 2016, go and check. They left 70-something%. It was in it, I think 73 or so.
Okay.
So we have virtually gotten this economy restored.
So in conclusion, the MPP should be given the credit for what we are seeing.
Look, I don't want to even do politics with them. But if they want to go political, then this is the work of the MPP government.
Okay, all right. Stiga, thank you very much. Stephen Amoah, Dr. Stephen Amoah is a member of parliament for the Inshiaso constituency and a former deputy minister of finance. Let's go on to the other line and speak